Warhammer 40K is coming to television and film, bringing the space-based warfare of the 41st millennium and all its dark tidings to the masses. Games Workshop, the UK-based company founded 35 years ago who owns the IP, has just signed a multi-year, multi-picture, entire cinematic universe deal with none other than Henry Cavill, star of Superman and The Witcher and beloved on every gaming website found on the internet. So in this video, we're going to talk about what the deal entails, how Cavill pulled this off, and what the first project they're working on is likely to be with Amazon Studios, who is putting up the money for this project for it to then release on their services. The first thing to note in this official press release is that Henry Cavill is listed as the executive producer to this upcoming project, meaning he will act in a role similar to Kevin Feige for the Marvel films, Kathleen Kennedy for Star Wars, and now James Gunn for the DC Universe, which, ironically, Henry Cavill was recently let go from, though I do wonder if the conversation that he was about to head his own cinematic universe may have played a part in his time availability, because as executive producer, he is the final word on finances, hiring directors, writers, even actors, and what scripts and series they choose to move forward with, as well as agreeing to star in at least one upcoming project. And if any of you are worried about an actor turned producer ruining everything, it's actually fairly common in Hollywood, with Brad Pitt being one of the better known actor-producer combos. As being a producer means you put up your own money so you get more control over the project and a greater cut back if it is successful. If you've been following the Witcher series and its recent, let's be polite and say drama, it's quite understandable to see how this is the next obvious step for him to take more control over the trajectory of his own career. But it's important to note Cavill will not be doing this alone. He partnered with Vertigo Entertainment, the production company behind the Lego franchise, the It films, and The Departed, to gain the IP rights from Games Workshop. But as this is such an expansive project, they needed someone to pay for the production. So they shopped around, and Amazon clearly put up the bid and terms that they liked the most. And interesting to note during all of this is that one of the two heads at Vertigo Entertainment that helped to acquire this deal is Natalie Viscuso, who also happens to be in a relationship with Henry Cavill, and likely encouraged him to take the plunge and try and acquire this IP that he is so passionate about. Because as many of you already know, Henry Cavill has spoken extensively about his love for the Warhammer franchise over the last several years. Also, he plays Adeptus Custodes, the Emperor's personal guard. This has nothing to do with the press release, it's just interesting to note, as what faction a person plays tells you a lot about them. Accompanying the press release was a short video with no narration and the above image. Eagle-eyed individuals will notice it is the sigil of the Emperor of Mankind in Warhammer 40K. Digging a bit further, it also does seem to specifically relate back to the Horus Heresy, a sort of prequel story to the larger universe that involves the forces of mankind going out into the stars and eventually falling to civil war and infighting. Now, this does not mean it will be the only thing produced in this deal, but it seems to indicate it will be one of the first projects created, and at least for a newcomer like myself, it makes a lot of sense. It's human beings and spacesuits fighting each other with a lot of backstabbing, which is a pretty easy sell for people that are not familiar with the sci-fi franchise. Who exactly Henry Cavill will play in all of this is still up in the air, but current fan favorites peg him as either the Emperor, head of the Earth-based forces, or his son, Horus, who leads the insurrection. While this project is still very much in the early stages, the announcement of the executive producers, who will star and who will be financing it, means they have begun the pre-production phase and will begin hiring writers and directors in the very near future, so expect that news to come in the next few months. And stay tuned to this channel for more information, because there's about to be a huge influx of people curious about Warhammer in the very near future and a big expansion to this community. My name is Cody Bonds, and this has been Warhammer News. Thanks for watching.